Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. Today I'm going to talk about building your own greenhouse. And so let's get after it. Anybody that gardens knows the importance of having a greenhouse. A lot of times it's hard to figure a way to get one with expense wise and put it into your budget, because a lot of us are small scale. Now, my garden's a little bit bigger than most. But when you're trying to work with a budget, a lot of times you have to get creative. Now, as far as this greenhouse here, this is made from a canopy tent like you'd use at one of the trades days or craft fairs or something like that. Now, it's in good shape. It's heavy duty. It's a 2-inch pipe, which makes it ideal and sturdy for a greenhouse. But what I'm getting at is repurposing, because a lot of times you can repurpose something and really get good use out of it. This here, I really had no use for a canopy, but it was given to me, and I said, well, this might make a good greenhouse frame. It's nice and smooth on the edges. It won't take much to cover them, to make them to where they won't damage the plastic. It's easy enough to set up. I've used 2x6s on the bottom. These are womanized. Now, a lot of people would say, well, do you want the chemicals around your garden? Now, this isn't going to be a problem as far as a bunch of leaching or something from chemicals. The frame is normally just slid together. This one here, I use self-tapping screws to put all the sections together. Now, I did run a wire here. This was mainly whenever I put it together to keep all the sections tight while I screwed them into place. I actually bolted the 2x6 to the bottom, and these anchors that's used for keeping this thing solid to the ground and anchoring, I'll use these to anchor it. So wind, because sometimes we do get some strong winds, but so the wind won't damage it. The next step here is going to be building the end walls. Getting a little further along, we've got a 4-foot wide doorway framed in on both ends, and right now I've got this end covered, the whole edge, with wood, so we'll be able to fasten down the poly to it. Now I just got to finish framing around the edge of the other end so we can start putting poly on. I put wide 4-foot doors, that way in the summertime with our heat I could still grow in there and get good airflow. Next, we're going to put the poly on the sides. I have all the framing around where the door's going to be in the ends, and we'll go take a look at how we're attaching the sides. Now, as far as when attaching the sides, it's just doubling this fabric a couple of times so the staple will have a good bite on it, and this is just temporary until we get the top on. Once we get the top on, we'll go ahead and put a strip here to hold the top on and hold the sides down to the level to where they roll up. Same thing here, cutting the doorway out. Now, we won't put any staples in this area, because if we do get strong winds, we don't want anything to get tore up. Now, we did staple at the edge, but then pulled it around and stapled this to hold tension right here. There will be a trim strip that goes around the door frame too, so that'll take care of any extra pressure on this area. Steadily getting a little further along. I have both ends on. Now we need to cover the top. All right, getting ready to put the top on, and want to make sure, if you're in an area like I am, take and stake your corners down where they'll be good and solid so the wind won't take and try to raise it up and move it. Also, if you're using something like I am, where your joints are, make sure you put something to protect the sharp edges from contacting your poly. So we've got everything ready there. We're going to put some plastic on this. Now the top is on. We have a makeshift roll up for the sides to ventilate there. And now we just need to put the trim pieces around the edges on the end. As you can see, this greenhouse, I finally got it completed. I have the doors on both sides. The weather's starting to cool down. It's mid to upper 50s, sometimes in the upper 40s. So it's finished just about the right time. And let's take a look at it inside. Okay, so inside I have my beds laid out. I still need to put some mulch down in my walkways. I'm not going to use landscape fabric. I don't have a big problem with controlling the weeds as it is with this type of setup, so I figure I'll go as natural as possible. But we have a rack on this side for the plants that we're starting, and we have two on this side for the plants we're starting. I've got the sides rolled down. Earlier as I was building, I had them up because a lot of sun, but as it's overcast and cooler, I'll bring them down. I know yesterday whenever I was didn't have the sides exactly fastened to keep the air out and was still working on the door on the other end, it did manage to get up to 75, which was pretty good. Today it's up about 4 or 5 degrees higher than the outside temperature, but the day's just started, so once the sun gets up, even though it's cloudy, it should start warming up in here pretty good. Now all I've got to do is get my plants ready to set out in here, and then we'll see how they do. If you've got any suggestions about what I might plant inside a greenhouse, just leave them down in the comments. I hope you like this video. I hope it gives you inspiration maybe to create your own greenhouse from maybe recycling things you might have on your homestead. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and you'll be notified when I have new videos. If you really like this one, go ahead and share it and give it a big thumbs up. Happy gardening.